Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for the character you want to see next, and like and subscribe for more darkness next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Fumikage Tokoyami from My Hero Academia, the jet black hero, and just like a bird boy for some reason. Just goes to show that you don't need a big lengthy explanation in your storytelling. If you have a boy with a bird face and a shadowy monster friend that fights for him, the audience will make the leap with you. I'm gonna take that to heart and avoid any unnecessary explanation. That's definitely gonna last the whole video too. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need a shadow, ideally a dark one, that will do some fighting for us. Specifically, we need a shadow monster that gets stronger in the darkness and could possibly break out of our control to attack our buddies. Finally, we'll get the power of flight. Tokoyami is a bird, and birds fly. Pretty simple. But you know what I think is pretty fly? Protecting your data with today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. While you're surfing the internet, your data is the favorite food of hackers, identity thieves, and corporations. But Surfshark protects that delicious data of yours by encrypting it so that the bad guys can't get to it. Speaking of tasty things, cookies. Surfshark can block cookies altogether, and not the tasty kind of cookies you want, the kind that gunk down your computer and slow it down. Now, you can use Surfshark at your home computer or on your cell phone if you're out and about in the world, because Surfshark works on an unlimited number of devices with one subscription. I'm talking tablets, gaming consoles, laptops, browsers, anything you're running the internet on, you can run Surfshark on to keep yourself safe. Now, I want you to try out Surfshark for yourself, and as always, Surfshark is giving a great deal to Tulok subscribers. Go to surfshark.deals/Tulok or click the link in the description and you'll get 83% off your subscription and 3 free months. It's a great deal to protect your data and it helps out the channel. That's a win-win. Now, click the link in the description, get started today, and I'll get back to that video. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep those multi-classing minimums in mind. Charisma will be number 1, you're cool as heck, even if you're a little reserved, but definitely scary. Constitution after that, concentrating on Dark Shadow is the only thing stopping him from killing all your classmates. Dexterity next, you're not wearing heavy armor, you just wear your own shadow and clothes. The shadow can pop out over the clothes though, that's nice. Follow that up with intelligence, you're not a bad student, but you're not the top of the class. Wisdom is a bit low, losing control can be kind of an issue and will dump strength. You tend to lose muscle definition when you have a shadow monster to carry your groceries. We're gonna use custom lineage, and I don't need to explain that. Everyone's gonna accept it, not even saying what other options I've considered. Just gonna go custom lineage and feel okay with that, and myself. Grab the Eldritch Adept feat for an extra invocation like Armor of Shadows, letting you cast Mage Armor on yourself at will. That'll make your AC 13 plus your Dexterity modifier when you're not wearing armor. Just let the shadow take the hit for you. Bump your Charisma with your 2 free points, take Acrobatics for your skill of choice, and build your own background. For Athletics and Persuasion, we might have dumped Strength, but Tokoyami is in pretty good shape. We'll kick things off as a Warlock, letting you grab 2 skills from the Warlock list, like Intimidation and Arcana, to understand your quirk and to understand how to make it scary. Here's a hint, it's a scary shadow monster. Just, let it do its thing. We need to choose a patron, so that means we need to define what Dark Shadow is. I'm choosing the Fiend, I'm not explaining it. See if you can figure out why by the end of the video. It's going to be pretty obvious. You just have to watch the whole thing before typing. That'll give you Dark One's Blessing, giving you temporary HP equal to your Warlock level plus your Charisma modifier when you drop a creature to 0 HP. It's like getting wreathed in physically tangible darkness that can keep you safe, because it is that. For spells and cantrips, Eldritch Blast is a ranged spell attack, deals 1d10 force damage as you send out a little punch from the Dark Shadow. Mind Sliver forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take 1d6 psychic damage and have a d4 penalty to their next attack roll. If psychic damage seems weird, just wait, watch the whole thing, you'll understand that. For your first level spells, Arms of Hadar summon dark spectral arms that force a strength saving throw on creatures within 10 feet of you, dealing 2d6 necrotic damage to those that fail and preventing them from taking reactions, half damage and all the reactions they want if they succeed. Big shadowy arms attacking people, that's 1-for-1 Tokoyami. I don't have to explain that one at all. Hex lets you deal some extra damage to a creature, a d6 of necrotic specifically, and give them disadvantage on skill checks of a certain type. I generally recommend strength or dexterity, since that would help your beefier classmates get a grapple on. Second level Warlocks get Invocations, special blessings from the Dark Shadow that will make you cooler than everyone else. Agonizing Blast Blast adds your Charisma modifier to the damage of your Eldritch Blast attacks, making Dark Shadow's claws a little sharper, or I guess more forceful. Devil's Sight gives you 120 feet of dark vision, and you can see in magical darkness, like the darkness created by the spell Darkness. Maybe we'll get that later. For this level spell, Cause Fear forces a Wisdom saving throw on a creature, failing that they're frightened of you, another one that's pretty straightforward. Turns out that the Bird Shadow Boy isn't all that complicated. Third level Warlocks get a Pact Boon, a little present from their patron. Pact of the Chain lets you conjure a tiny little animal that you can cast touch range spells through, and whose senses you can see through. It's a great way to send a shadowy little scout to see what's going on. For this level spell, Hold Person forces a Wisdom saving throw on a humanoid, failing that they're paralyzed for up to a minute depending on your concentration. That means they automatically fail strength and dexterity saves, and attacks made within 5 feet of them are critical hits. That'll help Todoroki roast, and Deku get a big punch. Fourth level Warlocks get another ability score improvement. Round up your Charisma and Dexterity modifiers. Odd numbers don't help you out, but this will raise your AC and the damage of your Shadow Eldritch Blasts at the same time. For this level spell, Shadow Blade makes a shadowy sword that deals 2d8 psychic damage, has advantage on attack rolls in dark or dim light, and has the Finesse and Thrown properties. Wow, it's a shadow-specific spell that deals psychic damage. I wonder if that's why we grabbed Mind Sliver earlier. Either way, this will give you a melee option for your Dark Shadow in case people get a little too close for comfort. Fifth level Warlocks can learn third level spells. Fly will give you the Black Fallen Angel with a 60-foot flying speed for up to 10 minutes depending on your concentration. At higher levels, you can choose other creatures to give a flying speed as well, so don't be afraid to pick up a buddy or two. You also get another invocation here. Repelling Blast lets you push a creature 10 feet when you hit them with an Eldritch Blast attack. If you don't want to fight Momo, just knock her out of the ring. Sixth level Fiend Warlocks get Dark One's Own Luck, letting you add a d10 to an ability check or saving throw once per long rest, getting a little more help from Dark Shadow. I'd imagine he's very helpful for athletics or acrobatics, considering he can just pick you up. For this level spell, Counterspell shuts down spells of third level or lower automatically, and higher level spells with a charisma check of 10 plus the spell's level. The better you can command your Dark Shadow, the more things he can shut down. But 7th level Warlock is where we get the real Dark Shadow with the 4th level spell, Summon Greater Demon. That summons a demon of challenge rating 4 or lower that comes in to help you out for an hour, depending on your concentration. If you drop concentration though, it doesn't go away. Instead, just attacking random creatures nearby. You'll also lose control if it makes a charisma saving throw on its turn. For your demon of choice, a Shadow Demon would fit pretty well. It has a weakness to radiant damage, sunlight sensitivity to give it disadvantage on attack rolls and perception checks in bright light, and claws that deal 2d6 plus 3 psychic damage, or 4d6 plus 3 if the demon has advantage on the attack. Wow, so now we have 2 shadow things that are dealing psychic damage. So interesting. Maybe that's the reason we have those psychic damaging spells. For this level's invocation, Lance of Lethargy lets you slow a creature's movement speed by 10 feet when you hit them with an Eldritch Blast, but only once per turn. That's different than how Repelling Blast works, but since you have 2 beams, you can do a bit of both, and put your enemies at the middle range you do best at. 8th level Warlocks get another ability score improvement, cap off your Charisma modifier to get the most control over your Dark Shadow. For this level spell, Ralphilum's Psychic Lance forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature you can see or name. Failing that, to take 7d6 psychic damage and are incapacitated until the start of your next turn, half damage and no incapacitation if they succeed. Obviously, you don't need to see them if you're just sending your Dark Shadows to go mess them up around the corner. 9th level Warlocks can learn 5th level spells. Hold Monster is like Hold Person without the humanoid restriction, so even Nomus can get wrapped up in your shadowy arms. For this level spell, Ascendant Step lets you cast Levitate on yourself at will, moving 20 feet with your action through the air. It's obviously not as good as a 60-foot flying speed, but the fact that you don't have to use any resources on a flying speed for this is pretty great, even though it's not technically a flying speed. 10th level Fiend Warlocks get Fiendish Resilience, letting you choose a type of damage to gain resistance to when you finish a short rest. I think picking anything except Radiant would be fair, though technically there's nothing stopping you from doing that. For this level spell, Synaptic Static forces an intelligence saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius, dealing 8d6 psychic damage to those that fail, and giving them a d6 penalty to their attack rolls and saving throws for the next minute, or until they can make an intelligence saving throw. It's a giant shadow bomb that's so traumatizing, it makes the creatures you're fighting worse. 11th level Warlocks get a 6th level Mystic Arcanum spell, which you can cast once per long rest rather than on short rest like the rest of your Warlock slots. Tasha's otherworldly guise will make for a solid Black Abyss, giving you a 40-foot flying speed plus 2 to your AC, an extra attack, the ability to use your Charisma modifier for attack and damage rolls with weapon attacks, immunity to fire and poison damage and the poison condition, or radiant and necrotic and the charmed condition. It's a whole dang suite of buffs that last for a minute, depending on your concentration. 12th level Warlocks get another ability score improvement, and we really need to get concentrating. Start off with the Resilient feat for your Constitution, giving you +1 to the score and proficiency with the saving throw. Then grab Eldritch Mind as your invocation this level for advantage on concentration saving throws, so you don't accidentally lose control of Dark Shadow and become a bigger problem for your classmates than the villains. Now we just need to get some more darkness, and we'll do that by jumping over to Shadow Sorcerer. That'll give you Strength of the Grave, so the first time you should hit 0 HP, you can roll a Charisma saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken once per short rest. At this point, those are going to be really high DCs. It's really mostly a level 1 ability that doesn't scale up too well. Of course, you also get cantrips and spells, like Chill Touch, which is a ranged spell attack that deals 3d8 necrotic damage to a creature and prevents them from healing with a nasty shadowy hand. Mage Hand is a much more chill hand, making a floating spectral hand that can lift small objects for you if you want a shadowy hand to carry your groceries. Message lets you whisper a message to a creature within 120 feet of you, and they can whisper back, so you can send out a text message if you want. It's a pretty amazing part of your quirk. Finally, Sword Burst forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of you, dealing 3d6 force damage to those that fail. Eldritch Blast is generally a better option for force damage, but if you find yourself surrounded, this can be a shadowy boo-boo to surround you. For first level spells, Featherfall lets you prevent falling damage for up to 5 falling creatures as a reaction, having Dark Shadow catch you, Pinky, Brain, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. Magic Missile fires 3 darts that automatically hit, dealing 1d4 plus 1 force damage each. It's pretty easy to hit things with Dark Shadow when you can basically make them try again. Multiclassing spellcasters isn't scary, especially with Warlock, since you basically have all the slots you would have if you didn't multiclass, but you can cast Warlock spells with Sorcerer slots and vice versa. And Warlock slots recover on a short rest, except for the Mystic Arcanum one. This is going to get more important in a second. That's because second level sorcerers get a Font of Magic with sorcery points they can spend to recover spell slots. You can also burn down spells into sorcery points, so make sure you do that with any leftover Warlock slots before you take any short rests. For this level spell, Jump lets you triple a creature's jump distance for a minute. Not as big of a deal when you can levitate at will, but maybe just have Dark Shadow give one of your buddies a little lift. Third level sorcerers get Meta Magic, letting you spend sorcery points to augment your spells. The Quickened Spell option will cast a spell that normally takes an action as a bonus action. Spamming double Eldritch Blast in a round is a great way to pump out a lot of damage without using any of your slots. Extended Spell doubles the spell's duration, so that hour-long Summon Greater Demon becomes a 2-hour-long Summon Greater Demon, even though, if I'm being totally honest, there is no way in heck a Shadow Demon isn't going to make a Charisma save against your DC by that point. It has a +4 modifier, your maximum DC is 19, and an hour is 100 rounds of combat, so it's 100 opportunities to roll a 15 or higher. That's not great. Maybe we'll get some for that in a second. You can also grab another spell like Darkness, which you actually get for free as a Shadow Sorcerer at this level. That creates a 15-foot sphere of magical darkness that normal dark vision can't see through, creating the perfect environment for your Shadow Demon to fight in. You won't be able to have control of both, since both spells are concentration, so that's pretty dangerous. 4th level sorcerers get another ability score improvement or feat. We'll go for the Skill Expert feat, round up your Constitution. You get Expertise in a skill of your choice, doubling your proficiency bonus with it. Intimidation is probably the most useful for you, and you get another skill like Perception to have someone looking over your shoulder. For this level spell, Mind Spike lets you force a Wisdom saving throw on a creature, dealing 3d8 psychic damage to the creature that fails, and they can't hide from you until you drop concentration for an hour. It's not super useful, if I'm being honest, but if there's a stealthy villain running around, it could help to keep your Dark Shadow looking at them. 5th level sorcerers can learn 3rd level spells. Haste doubles a creature's movement speed, gives them +2 to their AC, advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, hide, use an object, or make one more weapon attack. It's like a lower level version of Tasha's Otherworldly Guise, in case you've used that spell slot from your Mystic Arcanum on that specific spell, since that's the only thing you can use it on. Although, you do have to take a round off of actions and reactions when haste is over. Overusing your quirk can be a little exhausting. 6th level Shadow Sorcerers get another option for Dark Shadow with the Hound of Ill Omen. That summons a shadowy direwolf that's medium instead of large, gains temporary HP equal to half your sorcerer level, and will always head for the target. It goes away once the target drops to 0 HP, or if 5 minutes have passed, or if they kill it. It's just another form of Dark Shadow. How would you make Dark Shadow work in D&D? There's like 6 different ways, and I'm sure there are others I won't mention because I don't want to, because I don't. For this level spell, Fear forces a Wisdom saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot cone, frightening them and forcing them to dash away from you with their action if they fail. You'll always be better at fighting at mid-range, so pop this real quick and get people away from you. 7th level sorcerers can learn 4th level spells, and we're gonna grab something really critical here. The spell Charm Monster that forces a Wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're charmed by you for an hour. It does not require concentration, so if you summon a Shadow Demon with a +1 Wisdom saving throw, you can most likely charm it for a whole hour, which means it will not attack you and treat you like a very good friend. You could probably even get its true name, which would make it even easier to control. Our capstone is the 8th level of Sorcerer for one last ability score improvement. Bump your dexterity for better AC and better Shadow Blades if that's how you feel like using Dark Shadow. For this level spell, Stone Skin gives a creature resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for an hour, because honestly, your AC is going to be really bad. This might be a better way to have the Shadow take a hit for you. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're great at getting things done while staying out of the fight with big mobility fighting options, ranged attacks, and the ability to summon something else to fight for you. You also have several great ways to find hiding creatures, with Dark Shadow acting as a second set of eyes to help you track down villains. Finally, your massive charisma and intimidation will scare the villains into surrendering before things escalate to combat. For weaknesses, there's a pretty good chance Dark Shadow is going to lose control and attack everyone before you get to Charm Monster. That could be an issue. You also have a bunch of concentration spells and can only focus on one at a time. Finally, your AC isn't great, 16 with Mage Armor or 18 with Tasha's up, but you don't have enough bulk to fight up close. So scare people away, get yourself away with big mobility, and then just keep Dark Shadow after them. Just watch out for big radiant damage, or you won't be the shining hero anymore. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for the character you want to see next, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.